Hey, what's up guys? Travis with Pro Performance. We're over at Caesars, Matador Rods and Customs. We're gonna be putting in a vintage air kit into a 74 Blazer. They actually have really good instructions. So even for your beginner level work truck, DIY, garage guys, Vintage Air has good instructions. Pictures, make sure to read. If you can't read, just look at the pictures longer. And we will need these. We've already got a little bit of a head start. Caesar's gone ahead and removed the factory evap system, so now we're just gonna remove the dash pad, take out what is left of the ducting, and get it all ready for the installation of the new parts. So we got the dash pad out. We're gonna have to remove that because we have to gain access to the original ducting. All that's gonna come out because in the vintage air kit, you're gonna get all brand new ducting, vents, control panel, everything. This is an AC kit, our original AC Blazer. So this actually is gonna retain the original vents that we just took out with the dash pad, but that's gonna all stay on an AC kit. Non-AC kit, you'll get new vents and everything like that, but still all brand new ducting and everything, new control, all that. So when you're taking out the defrost duct, there's basically a tab that's kicked over or bent, so that way this stays in place. So you just wanna straighten that out, and the defrost duct should just drop straight down. All right, so we took out the kick panel. It has the fresh air vent. We're gonna remove this piece here because this block off will go on the backside, actually like that. That way it'll keep from any warm air coming in, since you won't need fresh air anymore because you got AC. All right, next will be the defrost vents, the new ones. The thin side, there's one flange that's a little bit thicker, one's thinner. The thinner side will go towards the windshield. So Caesar will pop those in while I continue to work on getting this fresh air vent out. All right, so here's the cover for the fresh air vent. We're gonna first apply a bead of silicone sealant around here just to seal it off. Doesn't take much. And then this notch will go right over that. So it'll sit with the indentation facing in towards the inside. So that'll be nice and flush, and they give you 2 screws to go ahead and hold it in and then reinstall. All right, we got the silicone seal all the way around. You can see it kind of oozing out. 2 screws to hold it in. We can go ahead and reinstall this. This is the block off for the original motor that was in the original AC system. So we're gonna put a bead of silicone around this block off so it seals it as well, so no warm air from outside comes in. This is the firewall cover plate they provide in the kit. We're gonna go ahead and use 2 factory holes to mock it up. We'll mark and drill the rest and then put another bead of silicone on this and for final installation. All right, so next is the main evap and mounting that inside. So all this stuff's all made in the USA, which is nice, so you know you're getting quality. This will be the Gen 4 system in their SureFit. So it's all basically the same box in a lot of their SureFit kits, which is the Gen 4. And then the mounting bracket is what makes it vehicle specific to go onto your vehicle, Blazer, C10, whatever it is. So we'll get this mounted up and then set this in the truck and get that on and installed. The system comes pre-installed with these bolts here, and that's what we're gonna use to put on the front evap bracket. So we're gonna remove those. Install the bracket. We're getting the O-rings for these tube fittings, which are for the heater hoses coming into the evap. We're gonna have to put a little bit of lubricant on it for the O-rings for them to properly seal. So you'll just apply a little bit to the O-ring, slide it onto the end, make sure it seats up against that ridge. And then when you put it in there, you'll fully seat it, and we'll show you, and then slide the nut over and tighten. First, we have to put on the rear evap bracket. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. All right, once you get the O-ring on, you're gonna wanna put it through the holes in the bracket. And then, like I was saying earlier, you gotta make sure it's seated in there. Slide the nut over. And for right now, we're just gonna hand tighten it because we'll have to position the direction in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and start the other one, do the same thing. All right, so what we're gonna do, we mentioned you wanna leave this loose. We went ahead and just hand tighten these on because you're gonna wanna set these at 90 degrees, coming straight out. So when you put the evap in, they're shooting straight out of the front of the firewall. This is actually what you'll see poking out of that block off plate that we put on earlier. So we'll get these tightened up, then we'll go ahead and put the rear bracket on the evap. That way, because if it goes on first, then you'll have no room to tighten the the fittings. Now that the fittings are tightened up, we can go ahead and install this bracket. So we're putting on the lubricant for the O-ring seals. So we put just a little bit bead around that ridge, slid over the O-ring, and then now just making sure it's all on the outside as well, so it goes in nice and smooth. This is the last line we're going to pre-install on the evap before it gets placed into the blazer. So we'll tighten this up, and then you'll still aim this line still in line with the other fittings so they come through straight through the firewall plate. So we got the evap all prepped, ready to go in, so we're going to go ahead and install it in the blazer and use the 2 1/4-20s to hold it up there so we can then mock to drill holes for the upper bolts here. All right, so we're going to put the grommets through. We're going to slide it over this tube, get it in the firewall plate, and then do the larger one for up here. This right here is the last line we got to put on the evap. It goes on after the evap is all bolted up to the firewall. It'll hook up here, and then the other end will poke through the firewall plate. Vintage Air will give you some of this insulation tar, I guess is what it is, but you're going to put that around the fitting once you get that one tightened on. So kind of got to work it underneath. You can see there I do it from the factory there. All right, so the last step on installing the evap into the blazer is these 2 upper screws here on the front evap bracket. You're going to need a 90-degree drill so you can get in there behind the dash, and then screws will go in there, the last 2. We have to put a drain in to drain all the condensation out of the system, so we found a spot here right at the bottom of the firewall. We're going to go and drill the hole, and then it does have to be 1 inch down so you have gravity drain. So we'll drill that, pop the fitting in, and we'll be done. All right, so the front clip is completely off the truck because he's going to powder coat the core support, clean it all up. But for now, we're going to take off the grill, get access to the condenser that's already on there, pull that off so we can install the new one. Okay, so on this driver's side louver, we're going to take that out, and we have to fit a duct adapter onto it. So once we pull it, we'll show it to you and show where the duct adapters go so you'll know exactly where to place them. So next you're going to want to run all your ducting. This is going to be for your AC vents, this for your defrost. You're going to have your driver's side vent adapter here, driver center, which is going to be up in the dash, the upper right hand side, center passenger, it's going to be on the passenger side and the center of the truck, and then your very far right adapter. All right, when putting on the vent adapters, they'll give you these S-clips. These will go on the very edge, and what that allows, you'll actually push them on, and the teeth will bite into it. That'll allow that to snap on to the original vent, so it'll go right over. So the original one will fit right inside here. Then when you're putting on your hose, you're going to squeeze it like this for the oval style, and make sure it goes over that little barb right there. And for a little insurance, you could just run a thing of duct tape on it if you wanted to, but that'll be enough to hold it on there. But a little extra insurance never hurts. So just like that. Comes with the Sandin 508 compressor. The bracket set up for a small block long pump with the compressor on the driver's side. So it comes with all the hardware and everything. So we'll go ahead and put that on. So it'll be all set up. We'll mock it up, and then he'll take it off so he can powder coat it and make it look good. All right, so here's the 508 compressor all mocked up. And this is just loosely mocked up because, again, he's going to powder coat the brackets. So you can see it has the front main bracket, support bracket. The other one comes off the driver's side manifold. Again, your bracket may be a little different if it's a short pump, big block, LS, whatever it may be. But for this installation, it's going to be a small block, long pump, and again, compressor on the driver's side. So this will come with the V-bolt pulley. Obviously, if you do LS, it'll be serpentine, and those will either go on the low side on the passenger or the upper passenger side. So anyhow, this is what it kind of looks like mocked up, and then the hoses will run over the engine accordingly. All right, on the square body kits from Vintage Air, they'll also give you a new control. So this will obviously have all your slides, look very factory-ish. That'll pop right in as a direct replacement, all electronically controlled directly to the evap. So this was a factory AC truck, so it already had the hole for the pass-through on the hard lines. So Vintage Air gives you a bracket or a cover plate with a grommet already in it. So that way it'll cover and your new lines can pass through. So originally I had these rubber bushings in there. Vintage Air gives you new ones with the 1/4-20 nut certs in there. So we left these in here again because he's going to powder coat it. So we'll pop those out, powder coat it, and then these will go in there, and then those bolts will thread right into these new bushings that'll go in there. We got the condenser all mocked up in the core support. Caesar's going to take it all apart and powder coat it. So this is just mocked up for now, but everything's all ready to go. So once he's done with it, we'll get it all back together, back on the truck, plumb the lines, and he's ready to go. All right, so Caesar finished powder coating in the core support. We got the front clip on. He opted for Built Specialties front engine mounts for the AC alternator power steering, so it'll look a little different. Hoses are ran. Everything's all done except for the heater hoses, but pretty much all finished up. If you guys need any help with vintage air, need help purchasing anything, we're a direct dealer. Number's 480-420-8175. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Gives you a little bit of input on what it takes to install one of these in a C10.